All right, everyone. It's been a long time since I've done a forecasting type video, and the reason why I have been not been like uploading as much is because I've been really busy with stuff, and I didn't have time or feel motivated to do this type of video. So we're gonna I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna upload this. If this doesn't get uploaded, then oh well. I'll whenever I feel motivated, I'll upload it. But there's a 25% chance that I'm gonna upload it. But anyways, we're gonna talk about this about the severe weather events that are about to occur in the next few days. We're gonna start off with talking about today's event. Today we have a lot of things going on since it's May and we are in peak season. We're gonna see a lot of marginals and slight risk all over the place, and it's been very active, honestly. It's been a lot more active since last year's May. Last year's May was a bit quiet for the majority of us due to that death ridge we had. Now this year, there's no death ridge occurring, and we are experiencing severe weather, like like all day, like all day. It just doesn't stop. It's normal for this time of the year since we're in peak season. Anyways, let's begin. Talking about the threat right now. So we do have a slight risk up here in the upper Midwest and into Canada. Doesn't look as concerning in my opinion, but something you have to keep an eye out on if you're in the yellow shaded zone. And we do got a large marginal risk of severe weather across the southeast. Apparently, it's going to be isolated severe weather. By the time this forecast video is uploaded, I think this is probably going to be over with and done with, honestly. So this is something. I mean, if you live in the southeast here, show a sigh of relief. You all are good now. Let's check out Fort Panel. So the main concern is going to be right now. This is what it looks like right now. Is we got some large hail and damaging winds. They're not hatched, which is good news. So I do see we could see some hail happening in the upper Midwest and some of it in the southeast as well. And also another thing, here's the damaging wind threat right here. But a big chunk of the U.S. is going to experience some isolated. I mean, it's already happened. So, and we do got a tornado threat with this as well. Possibly a tornado or two today, but then again, we'll see what happens. I'm probably gonna check the reports after I get this done. Taking a look at tomorrow's event. This is something we have to keep an eye out on because tomorrow could be a little bit more serious. It looks a little serious, but there are some issues with tomorrow. So we're going to talk about what's going on tomorrow. So we do got an enhanced risk of severe weather across Kansas. Basically, the cities of Saline, Hayes, Dodge City, Greensburg, stuff like that. Kind of Wichita, you're kind of in the enhanced risk, but you're on the outskirts at the same time. So yeah, if you're in the yellow and orange zones, I would be more weather aware than you already are. Green zones, I'd be weather aware too, honestly. But it's gonna be isolated, so don't be scared about that. And also we got a slight risk down here in Florida. I'm not gonna keep those people alone. We got a little slight risk down there, and a marginal risk that stretches into Florida as well. The main concern. Let's look at the main concern. It's gonna be damaging winds. Actually, yeah, damaging winds. We got a 30% hatched area in Kansas and bits of northern Oklahoma, close to the Panhandle. It looks like. So we got that. That's going to be that's going to cause a little bit of problems there because we could see winds up to 70 miles per hour from the storms that develop in that region. Something we have to keep an eye out on. We do got some isolated damaging winds in Florida as well. Looking at the hail threat, we got a hatched area for significant hail in Kansas, which I think what tomorrow's going to be like is it's probably going to be a little bit more of a probably going to start off as supercells, then they're going to form into a linear storm mode because I think that's why that hatch hail threat's more to the west, and once they move more east, I think the very large hail threat's going to die down a little bit, and become more of a damaging wind threat than a very large hail threat. So yeah, this is just my prediction. I'm not too sure if that's going to happen, but that's just my guess, honestly. And they said it's supposed to be more of a an evening to a nighttime threat, which I can see that. I can really see that as that being an issue. We're going to talk about those in the models here soon. And also we got a 15% chance of large hail in Florida too. Not hatched, which is good news. So, but you're still going to experience some 1-inch hail in diameter down there. So keep that in mind. Tornado threat. It's really non-existent in Florida. It's mostly for damaging winds and hail. But we do have a tornado threat in Kansas, which is a 5% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of any given point. Do we expect an upgrade to this tornado threat? It's possible, but it just has to depend on what the models are saying. Right now, the Storm Prediction Center just issued that 5%, and I don't think they upgraded this at the 12Z update, I think. So yeah, we've got a 5% that stretches in Kansas. We've got 2% that stretches from Nebraska to Oklahoma. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they extend that 5% down more into Oklahoma. But I think we have a capping issue going on down there, so that's why it's a hit or miss in that area. For Kansas, we could see something like QLCS WISE. Yeah, you can see the Storm Prediction Center has issued or said there's a potential for a strong MCS capable of significant wind gusts. I think the reason why there's a 5% is because we could see QLCS tornadoes form in that area. And I think for southern Oklahoma, if the cap does break, we could see a low threat all hazards, meaning we could see a supercell that is capable of producing a tornado. So if you're in Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, please be weather aware. Don't ignore this. Just don't ignore it, because this can end up being very significant. So, or not significant, terrible. Anyways, let's take a look at day 3. This is Monday, May 20th, the anniversary of the Moore 2013 EF5, the last EF5. We have not had an EF5 in like 11 years apparently. But we do got a slight risk of severe weather that stretches from Kansas to Iowa. So we'll be talking about that we'll be talking about that soon in the models. But this goes from Kansas City, Wichita, Omaha. Those areas recently hit 2 to 3 weeks ago by numerous strong to violent tornadoes, and Lincoln, Nebraska as well. So all of you guys need to be weather aware. Also Des Moines too. Don't ignore this, Des Moines. Even though you're on the edge of that, you cannot ignore that. That is something you got to keep an eye out on. So yeah, all of you guys in the yellow and the green needs to be weather aware. The probabilistic, we don't know the exact details. It just says 15% chance of severe weather. There's no hatch. There's no significant severe weather, but I would not be surprised if this gets upgraded to an enhanced risk somewhere in the middle of the slight risk. And I would not be surprised if the slight risk got extended a little bit too. So you can see we got, so it does say, if you look at the description of the Storm Prediction Center, you can pause the video if you want to read this. I'm not a reader. I don't read all of this. I just read it because, why not? So there is a lot of uncertainty with Monday, but if it goes well, all severe hazards are possible. So like I said, make sure you're weather aware. And now let's look at day 4. This is day 4, guys. We already got an enhanced risk of severe weather on day 4 already. Like, there's a 30% chance, and this could end up being very, very, very bad. Basically, this could be something we might have to look in, it's something I don't know how to describe this. We could see this this could be a history type setup that we're dealing with here, but it depends on if this uptrends or downtrends or up or whatnot. We'll see what happens. Right now, this is just so, I don't know the exact details. Um, but the Storm Prediction Center has said this is more looking like a linear MCS um, event that will occur in Iowa and Missouri. Um, to be honest with you guys, I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that being a linear MCS. I think we're going to see discrete supercells still happen in the yellow and green zone, the yellow and orange zone throughout the area. So, all right. Anyways, I'm gonna name the cities here. There's a lot of them. I'm not gonna name all of them. So Oklahoma City, Wichita, Kansas City, St. Louis, my hometown, Davenport, Des Moines, Chicago. All of you guys, yellow and orange zones, need to be weather aware because it could be a very big situation. This could be a very dangerous situation. We have to keep an eye out on. But they did say there's also going to be storms happening in Oklahoma as well. I mean, I would not be surprised if that enhanced risk got extended down a little bit more, or the slight risk extending a little bit up to the north as well. I would not be surprised either. Yeah, so that's what it says. Day 6 through 8. Day 5. Let's look at day 5 here. So potential or predictability too low, meaning we don't have a 15% chance. But looking at day 6, let's look at day 6. So we got a 15% chance of severe weather across Dallas, Fort Worth area, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Fort Smith, Arkansas, Shreveport, Louisiana. So I don't know exactly the details of day 6. I'm not going to say much about that. This could easily get removed if things don't really pan out the way they do. So yeah, 15% chance on day 6. This is on Thursday apparently, so May 23rd. So hopefully people are weather aware for what's about to come for them in day 6. All right, let's take a look at the models here and see what's going on. So right now this is the HRRR. Everyone simps for it apparently. I do too. I simp for it a lot. Even though it's been very, very terrible this year, it just gives you an example of what can happen once this loads. All right, there we go. So the 00Z is coming out, but we're not going to take a look at that. We're going to take a look at the 18Z. Basically, it gives you a better example. So here we go. So this is here we go. Now we're on Sunday. But you can see you've got some storms. You can see the HRRR that shows some messy. It shows an MCS event going on in Kansas around 6 to 7 p.m. But you got some isolated supercells up here in Kansas and Nebraska. I think the main show will probably be up here, and this is more of a damaging wind threat down south apparently. And look at that, you can see you got some supercells forming in Kansas, southern Kansas as well. So we could see some big hailers down there as well. And I would not be surprised if this MCS storm had 70-mile-per-hour winds with it as well. And then this becomes a mess and goes away. So yeah, it only goes through 12 to 13 p.m. or 12 p.m. whatever, Central Standard Time. So I don't know what Monday is looking like yet until the 00Z comes out. That's when we get a better example. Let's look at our supercell. Actually, let's look at our updraft helicity. This shows the track of these supercells or the rotation of them. So here we go. This is Sunday, and yeah, look at that. You can see you got some interesting supercell tracks over here, right down in southern Kansas. So this is something you got to keep an eye out on. I do think this is going to be a nocturnal threat for them to go big, and they could end up producing tornadoes too. That's why we have that 5% chance as well. So yeah, something to keep an eye out on. So yeah, let's look at our supercell composites. We're going to take a look at the soundings here too. So here we go. Here's our supercell composites. it does show big time Supercell composites up here, but there's probably going to be like a little capping issue up there in Nebraska, probably remain isolated and stuff like that. Um, yeah, the 3 cape isn't as great up there. Big time photograph though, that's pretty big, honestly. You got some very intense curvature winds on that, and yeah, you can see you got a little bit of a capping issue there. Um, that's a little unfortunate. Actually, it's actually a good thing, whoever lives there. But for storm chasing wise, no. But then later on Monday night, you can see Supercell composites rise in southern Kansas. Like, look at this, very intense Supercell composites. Let's take a look at the look at the soundings here. Let's look at this time. So let's take a look at the sounding. Oh, that looks contaminated. Never mind. Yeah, that's contaminated. Let's look at this. Is this contaminated? Yes, it is. It's contaminated. What about here? Also contaminated. All right, so everything down here looks contaminated. Oh, that's weird. Oh yeah, a little bit of capping issue there. So I mean, Supercell composites do show something very high. What about here? Is this contaminated as well? Yes, you are contaminated. All right. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So it does show some contamination going on down there, but I'm not buying that. I really don't think. I really think we could see a threat out of this. I really think we will. Let's check over here. That's okay. So we got a little issue. We got a capping issue down there, and you got a very nice curvature. You got curvature winds on that. You got a nice photograph on that. I mean, the 3 cape is pretty bad, honestly, and that's the reason why the capping. There's capping there that's going to really limit these storms. Like, this is an example down here. Even though that photograph looks big, look how big the capping is right here. That is not a good sign, honestly. Honestly, I think the main tornado threat is going to be QLCSs and spin-ups, in my opinion. I mean, if a supercell does fire and produces a tornado, that's going to be a very big. That's going to be some huge luck there. Yeah. So yeah, there is some capping issues for Sunday. Let's check the wrap model. Let's check in our wrap model here. I should be looking at more of these models here and stuff like that. So wrap gives you an example. This shows. Actually, I need to go to 21Z. Then no one goes that far. So here's 21Z. Here's Sunday. You can see you got Supercell composites in central Kansas that are big, and in Oklahoma too. Let's look at the photographs, and it's the same thing. Honestly, you got a big capping issue going on there in the Panhandle of Oklahoma. And let's see Kansas. Kansas, oh my God, same thing. Even though that looks a little better, honestly, with the directional shear and the nice curvature on it. 3 cape is a little better, but again, got some capping going on, which is not good. Although the wrap model is not as accurate, honestly. Yeah, it all depends on the cap, honestly. And you can see it does stretch for day 3's event. We got some Supercell composites rising over here. Because you got the triple point happening up there. And yeah, that's a better sounding. Actually, the photograph needs to be a little bit up a little bit, but still a better sounding. Got 3 cape is a little better. The cap is broken apparently, and the curvatures are. It's weird, but it's there though. You can see it. Shear pretty good. Yeah, 3 cape. I mean, cape is really good too for Monday. So I think Monday looks a lot better than Sundays, in my opinion. I mean, I don't like to check. I don't want to check the other models. I'm too lazy. Well, we'll go from here. Anyways, we're gonna talk about the future. Let's talk about the future of severe weather that's about to occur. Talking about Tuesdays and Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So here we go. Animating this. If I can load, that is. Okay, so here we go. So yeah, the GFS. It's not that good when it's close. When it's very close. Usually use the other, like the short range models and stuff. But this gives you an example into what's going to happen. So here you got you got Sunday's event. I do agree with the GFS on this one. I do think this is going to be a mesoscale convection system going through the air through Kansas. But I think I disagree with it being more to the east, honestly. I think it's going to form more to the west. And then here is Monday's threat. Monday's threat doesn't look as, it doesn't show that much, but you know, GFS does GFS things. And then once we go into Tuesday, this is something we got to keep an eye out on. Look at this. Got a negatively tilted trough coming in. Got a classic comma-shaped trough here. Man, this area is something we have to keep an eye out on. Like, this is something, you got some isolated storms up there too. Illinois, like this is kind of concerning. And this is, look at that, 90 millibar low. That is pretty good. That's a pretty good trough if I'm gonna be honest with you. And then you got Thursday's threat, which looks pretty isolated, honestly. I'm not seeing much of a threat down there. And then uncertainty still remains. Now we're still in June. Got that gigantic trough or something right that's going on up here in Canada. Canada could see some tornado action up there. So yeah, Canada, be weather aware. But that's uncertain. I don't know if that's going to happen. So, all right, let's check our CAPE. We don't usually check the CAPE that much, but this is something we have to. This is very important. So here's our freaking CAPE here. Yeah, so even though Sunday's CAPE looks pretty good, Monday's also looks good. Tuesday, not as much, but you can see the CAPE. What the heck? So you can see you got some CAPE. CAPE is a little bit. CAPE is in the 3000s in Iowa and Illinois, and stuff like that. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, look at all that CAPE. Holy moly, 4,000 joules per. Wow. That's a lot of energy out there. That's going to cause some issues. And Wednesday looks to be also it appears to have energy down there as well. What about Thursday? Thursday, yeah, I see Thursday being. I see why. All right, and then the uncertainty still remains. You got this. You got that next week. Oh man, that next week looks something to keep an eye out on, and then it repeats over and over and over again. And you got another threat next week that's possible, but that just looks crappy, honestly. So, and that's uncertain, so I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Yeah, a lot of CAPE, because since we're approaching summertime, there's going to be a lot of energy for these storms to go big. But even though we love the CAPE so much, we're going to take a look at our supercell composites. All right, let's take a look at what it says about Monday and Tuesday. So here's Monday. You can see we've got, that looks like a triple point system happening up there. If this verifies, this could end up producing a few tornadoes up there in Kansas and somewhere in Nebraska too. So something to keep an eye on. And then we got tomorrow's event. This is the 18Z GFS, by the way. And you got, and taking a look at the soundings. Wow, the cap even breaks there too. 3 CAPE is not as good. Like, this could be this could be an issue, but I don't think it matters. And you got a curvature, not as a curvature hodograph, but still something to keep an eye out on. This is in southern. This is in like this area right there. But if I go back, according to the 18Z, that's a little better. Oh no, let's go. What about Missouri? Missouri has to be good. It's the same thing, honestly. I gotta know which area is the best area. What in the? Okay, GFS going hammers on that area. What about in Illinois? Illinois always gets the action. Okay, okay, okay. What about up here? What about here? Yeah, I don't know. The three Cape looks odd, but I don't think it matters. Like I said. Oh, here we go. Here's a PDS tornado sounding like right in Illinois. God, not as much directional shear, but it's still supportive to. It's still supportive for a very a strong tornado and stuff like that. So something to keep an eye out on. And then we got Wednesday's threat. Looks lower than Tuesday's, honestly. It's not a bad photograph, but probably supported for a tornado or something. Honestly, though, like it doesn't show much happening in Thursday. And yeah, the uncertainty remains again. Oh, let's check Canada. You know what? Let's do it. We're doing it. We're checking Canada. That is actually the cap. I was about to say if that breaks, Canada is probably gonna experience a tornado up there. I don't think they have seen a tornado yet, and it's surprising to me because we're at this time of the year for them. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's check before we wrap this up. I'm gonna check the NAM and the Euro real quick to see what's going on. So here's our Supercell composites. NAM really loves to really overperform. I mean, according to NAM, it does show a lot of composites in Iowa and stuff like that. Still, it does show the same thing. Honestly, I still think we could see tornadic activity happen, but the NAM, according to the NAM, it does appear to be the threat more to the north, but got a little bit of an issue there. And I think the threat, honestly, looks to be in the early afternoon hours. But that can easily change. That can really, really change. Oh, wow. This is near, oh, no. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was about to say, that looks pretty scary there. In Minnesota, too. Minnesota is something we have to keep it up. Is this I don't I mean the NAM is not always correct on this, but if oh Jesus, that is the scariest. I highly doubt it's gonna happen. The NAM pulling NAM things. Get the triple you got that triple point happening up there, and you got I feel like I would chase the southern area of the low pressure system, not the one in Minnesota and Wisconsin. So yeah. Anyways, I think that's it. I'm pretty sure I'll probably like have a final decision on Twitter. So yeah, I'm gonna sign off here.